Hello and welcome to a new episode of Mostly Engineering. And as you saw from the title and the intro video, today we are going to talk about clouds and the interesting question, how much does a cloud weigh? And it's not that simple to answer because we can't take a cloud and just put it on a scale and read off the answer. And that's also a lucky situation because otherwise the answer would be quite boring. But so we have to think a bit more about it. And to understand how much a cloud weighs, we have to understand in the first place what are clouds made of. And in the air, we have water vapor and we have them all the time. But in determinant of the air temperature and the pressure, the air can take different amounts of water vapor in. And to simplify it, warm air can store more water vapor than cold air. And now we can have situations that we have more water vapor in the air than the air could hold. For example, if warm, humid air is rising up and cooling down, and therefore the now cool air can't take all this water anymore. And in this case, the water condensates to teeny tiny droplets. Each droplet has a diameter of about 10 micrometers, so with your naked eye it wouldn't be possible to see it. But if you have billions of these droplets, they reflect and scatter the lights, and therefore you could see them as clouds. So clouds are basically nothing else than a collection of a lot of water droplets hanging in the air. And as you know from carrying water bottles, water is not that light. It's actually quite heavy, and if we take a cumulonimbus cloud, what are the clouds you have on a very nice summer's day, and take really average conditions, temperature-wise, pressure-wise, and so on and so forth, we can say this cloud has 1 gram of water in each cubic meter of cloud. 1 gram doesn't sound much, but the average cloud in this instance has a volume of about 1 cubic kilometer. And 1 cubic kilometers are 1 billion cubic meters, and therefore we have 1 billion grams of water up in the air. And this is about, or not about, exactly 1000 tons. And this is quite a lot of weight. And if you think about that, this is a relatively small cloud. If we have a thunderstorm or something like this, these clouds are much, much bigger and therefore much, much heavier. And so we have several thousand tons of water hanging above our heads. And now this brings us to the really interesting questions. Why doesn't it fall down? I mean, it's quite heavy. A cloud isn't that aerodynamically shaped, so why doesn't it fall down? And the answer is they do. I mean, the droplets condensate, and then, as everything else, they feel the pull of gravity. The droplet gets accelerated down to Earth with 9.81 meters per second squared, as everything else. But inside the cloud we have downdrafts and updrafts. If you are on an aircraft, you feel it. If you are flying through the cloud, you feel a little bit of turbulence. And that's exactly the same effect. So if this tiny water droplet now gets caught in an updraft, it gets lifted up inside the cloud, and when it's out of the updraft, it's falling down again. And this can go on for quite a while. But eventually the droplet will drop out of the cloud. And below the cloud, the conditions are so that the air can still take water vapor in. And therefore, the tiny droplet just evaporates and gets invisible. So to simplify this, we can say the cloud is falling constantly, but at the same rate it's falling, it's dissolving on the bottom and building up on the top. Now, water has this interesting property that without a core, it can form only these tiny droplets. But if you have microscopic dust inside the cloud, is droplet can grow much bigger than the 10 micrometers I talked before. It can grow up to several millimeters in diameter. And when this droplet falls out of the sky, a little bit still evaporates, but the majority of the drop just falling down to earth. And in this case, it's just raining, or if it's cooler, it's snowing or probably hailing. And that's all that is to say about the clouds. I hope you liked this video. If you like it, comment it, like it, share it, just do the usual YouTube stuff. And all that's left to say is thanks for watching and see you at the next time. Bye bye.